What's going on, guys? This is Joe Tallarico, and you're listening to the Aha Moment podcast, where we find regular people who said no to playing it safe, failed along the way, and are in the middle of their grind to the top. Here's how they think when everyone else tells them no. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here today with Darien Harris, comedian, healer, trainer. This dude does it all. Little master.
Conor McGregor, enthusiast.
There you go. That's his biggest trait, really. He's into that. Yeah.
I tried to help him when Floyd, I was giving him like some game plans. I don't think he was receiving them.
You're just sending him out, though. He just
I'm like, hey, Floyd, that was a good fight. Floyd did his thing. I like the fight.
I know. I knew he was going to win, but it was fun to watch.
Conor could hold, but like he wouldn't have survived Canelo. Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
Oh.
It's the difference in hand speed between boxing and MMA that I noticed.
Yeah.
I was negligent to noticing before. I'm like, but like since they restrict something, they have to get even better. And so it's like tying your hand behind your back and fighting.
Oh yeah.
So you can be real good with this one hand, and in case somebody else do it, they gonna be. So I understood.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about yourself, where you're from, who you are.
Like you said, I'm Darien Harris. Originally from Chicago, just moved out here 3 years ago. Trainer at LA Fitness. Shout out to LA Fitness. I started recently because I seen you do your thing on Instagram. It's pretty cool, the hotel workouts.
Thank you.
Clever.
I've been getting a lot of comments on those.
Yeah, what did you put in that bag?
Whatever I got in there. So
that's pretty cool.
The theory is put the water, the shoes, try to be resourceful.
But I've seen you change your title to strength and conditioning. I'm a strength and conditioning coach. I like that. Because a coach, it isn't a lot of pressure on a coach. Like I can be a human being. When a trainer, they expect you to be a superhero.
Yeah.
They expect you to be perfect. I'm not perfect.
Doesn't exist. Perfection does not exist.
Because my coaches, sometimes the coach is not in good shape, but they know what they. So do as I say, not as I do.
There you go.
So Darien Harris, strength and conditioning coach.
Okay. What got you into training people?
Well, when I originally came out here, I trained. I was trying to train myself to be in the medical marijuana industry, so I wanted to be a budtender. So I got certified in budtending, where I had to learn all the different marijuana strains and then all the different ailments, which strains can heal which ailments. And then I had to. I got a little certificate. I'm like, I'm going to go out to California, work in the business. The soda. But I was about to get into the business, and I realized they only hire women, and so.
Why is that?
It's
just looks.
You go in there, you buy weed from a hot girl. I understand it. I understand the business model. I wasn't mad at it, and so I went to the next best thing was I started in sales, selling personal training. Then I realized I don't want to be part of that, and then. But I love training people, and I just got into that. I got certified. It changed my life. I understood fitness at a new way now. It wasn't just like going in there and just lifting stuff and hopefully something good happens. I had a game plan, and then I was able to change my body. Then I started teaching others how to change their body, and then I love it. I just love interacting with people. Yeah. Because it's kind of like they follow me around the gym. They have to hear everything I say, so I'm kind of like Socrates, like a fit Socrates.
There you go.
And so it's fun.
Dropping philosophical
because it goes together. I like to see it as a physio-psychotherapy. So we changing the way you think by physically engaging your body. So
a lot of people don't realize that when they think trainer, they think, oh, you're just someone who teaches me how to lift.
Count. Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't even do that.
I wouldn't even say, like, anyone can do that, obviously. I would say a trainer's biggest job is you're there for the accountability. You're there for the mindset. You're there for getting people's attitudes right and making sure
that. And like, our trainees, like, even though it's just that people think, oh, he's just a trainer, he has a lot of clients, he doesn't really. Every day I'm like, all right, what James? Oh, I got James today. He's been slacking lately. I gotta get him. Because they don't get to their goals, they put them. You're like a coach. If you don't get to if they win, it's good for them. But if they lose, it's bad on the coach. So they blame the coach. So I want to look good. I don't want to be a bad trainer.
Sure.
But so I'm just trying to like meal plans, babysitting. I got to like take care of. I'm their mother.
What is usually the biggest complaint you get that involve them not following or getting results they want?
Well, the main thing is eating. People don't understand that's the main. That's what I learned with nutrition. Once you diet correctly, once you prep your meals before, stay hydrated, try to eat regularly. Once your diet is on point, everything else is easy. And so I can destroy them for 30 minutes, but mostly I try to teach them like, hey, it's not what we do here. It's like you got to go out there, you got to like eat right, you got to not stress out about your job. It's hard. People, I understand you got a job, you got this system over their head, and so basically what I do is I just try to make them feel better than they came in. So
what do you think is for anyone listening that's trying to lose weight, the biggest thing they could be focusing on from the get-go that's easy to accomplish but isn't overwhelming?
Is you gotta because there's gonna be some days you're not gonna want to work out, right? So you gotta figure out a way to motivate yourself to working out, like, because I want to get in the bikini, I want to have a butt like hers, or those are not enough. That's not strong enough to keep you going. It's just consistency. You're gonna have some bad days, you have some good days, but just keep doing it, and then you're gonna realize, hey, oh shit, I'm in shape. What happened? That's what happened to me. I just kept doing it. Like, oh, you look good. Oh, really? Oh, I thought I looked the same. I don't know.
How do you find that? What is it like, or what is it for you personally that you searched for that allowed you to go from person who's just like, oh, I don't want to go in today, to finding that something that kept you going? Your why?
Well, I'm kind of different. I think I conditioned my body to wherever I'm high, I have to work out. I have to get rid of that energy. And so I just love getting high and working out. It's like, even that's like therapy for me. Like, oh, I just need to go home, just work out, and then get high, work out, listen to music. That's routine. I don't know. I just conditioned my body. I'm wired that way. And what I had to do, because before I came out here, I was in retail, working at Walmart, supervisor, about to be assistant manager. And it wasn't my top priority, but I still wanted to do it. I had to change my life to only, like, you had to put health first. It's hard. If you want to look that way, you know what she do to get that ass? She's in here doing leg day every fucking day. It's consistency. It's like, it's got to be your number one priority. I don't know. You got to make it a job. Because people take their jobs way more seriously than they take their health. So just make health your job.
I find it's big to figure out why it is you're doing it. You're going to need a reason. Like you said, you're going to be unmotivated more than you will be motivated. So you have to figure out what is the bigger reason you want to stick with this versus just, oh, I want a booty like her.
You got to be addicted to it.
Yeah. So
like, I don't even train for results anymore. I feel like I'm a big fan of anime, so every time I work out, I feel like it's a battle, and I gotta go earn my meal. Like every time, like a hero beats a villain, and they just go all out, and they're just on the brink of death, and then afterwards they have like a big party and just eat like, oh, I need meat. So that's how I think of it. I gotta go earn my meal today. I can't just be still. I gotta earn my meal, and I'm a trainer, so they expect a lot from me.
Sure.
They don't want to get trained by a fat person. So that's another motivation I have. Everything I give my clients, I gotta be able to do myself. That's my strategy.
And then how about the comedy now? How did you get into that?
You see, so training, I'm pretty good. I don't want to boast, but like I have a lot of clients. They like what I do. They see results. So it was becoming routine. I would go in, just clock in. Hey, all right, 1, 2. All right, go down to all right, 1. What's today? Pull. Okay, boom. It was getting routine. It was getting boring. And I was like, I didn't like that. So I was real comfortable. So here's a quote. When you seek the uncomfortable, everything becomes comfortable. So that's why I train, because I make things harder to make life easier. Talking in front of people, that was fucking hard. That was like the hardest thing I did in like a fucking long time. And like once after, you just feel like you leveled up a little bit. Like if this is an RPG, I'm on level 3 now because of that. It was like a huge battle. That was harder than squatting. Squatting, like, and I always, like, you hear it sometimes, like I was always a class clown. I always like make people laugh. because when people laugh, anxiety goes away. They feel a little better. You get to change their mood. And like, so parents just be always stressed out. Just make them laugh, and they change the mood. And then people want you to be around if you can make them laugh. Like, I get a good feeling every time I'm around them. And I just get to tell the truth, but just make it funny.
Yeah.
I just tell people the truth, just make it funny.
Yeah.
Put an LOL at the end.
There you go. Emojis maybe.
Emojis.
Now, they say, going back to your point, public speaking is like, I think, the biggest fear. So how did you, obviously that's something other people find uncomfortable that you conquered, and you were talking about being used to being uncomfortable. How do you even approach that? Because most people, you say that to them and right away they shut down.
Yeah, it's first you gotta, like, I had to do it because I can push it off, but like I was in the class, I was preparing for it, I told everybody I was gonna do it, and so that's why I took the seminar, because I knew, like, all right, I'm not gonna be able to push it off. They're gonna expect me to do it, and I'm gonna have to perform. I don't wanna let them down. So first you gotta, like, put a gun to your head and do it. For something, you gotta figure that out yourself. But then, like, approaching the show, like, I've had training before, like how to overcome the fears and like the symptoms that come to you, like before public speaking. So like the heart rate, so I've experienced before. I was a communication major. We had a speech every freaking 2 weeks, and so but what I can give, a tip that I can give to people is just focus on your breathing.
So what's like an exercise they can do? Let's say they have to do some sort of presentation and they're getting that anxiety.
What a good tip she gave us is go run a full, like, go sprint, do hit sprints, and then practice, because your heart rate's gonna be going boom, 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 boom. And then you just, wherever if you gotta like practice a speech, best man speech, just run a full sprint to where your heart is, when your chest is pounding, and then just try to practice, read it out loud.
What about in the moment? Let's say.
In the moment.
Yeah, let's say
in the moment.
Now with something.
So like,
exercise.
I am a Gong Practitioner, so I understand breathing because I have asthma. So it was motivated for me to learn about breathing because I have trouble breathing sometimes. So a tip you can do is, when the heart is like beating real fast, which happens before the show, like you feel your heartbeat. So your mind is on your heart beating, which is, you're sending more energy, because wherever your mind eye is on, you're giving chi to that. That's what the theory is. So it's just a double bind. You're just fucking yourself up by thinking about the heart. So what you should put your mind is on your breathing. And also, so you got the heart here, the lungs over the heart. The heart is beating, it's like fire. It's generating a lot of heat. The lungs act as metal. So you want to expand the lungs to suppress the heat. That's what they call it, the heart fire. And the lungs is metal. So you expand the lungs, hold the breath a little bit, try to control it, and then you can feel your heart
go down.
Heartbeat go down.
So how long of an inhale, how long of a hold?
So when you inhale longer than you exhale, your chi, you're generating all the chi down. And when you exhale longer than you inhale, you're manifesting it. So you want to control and suppress everything in. So you inhale, I'll say hold it for about 4 or 5 seconds, where it's slightly uncomfortable, but not too uncomfortable, where you're oh, and then like let it out slowly. Like, cause I'm nervous right now, so
yeah, there you go.
Because I get high a lot, and so I gotta suppress that.
There you go.
And so if you
how many breaths would you say? Maybe up to 10 max.
Like when I have my clients, if we're doing hit stuff and I want their heart rate like below 125, like, all right, stop, your heart rate's like 150, 160. Take 3-4 deep breaths and hold it. That's the key. You gotta hold the air in, and because your lungs are expanded, and it's just like, calm down, heart. You good, we got you. And then you let it out slowly, and you take another deep breath. And then you see my shoulders are back, so you're just trying to get the heart rate down. So expanding the lungs, and then also another trick for me is, as long as I know I'm gonna stay alive.
Yeah.
And so like if I'm freaking out, if I'm having a panic attack, it's like I have asthma attack, and so I just try to focus on that. As long as I can do this, I won't fucking die. And so I relate that back to the comedy thing. When I'm training, my heart rate is too fucking high. And just so breathing, and then you got reverse abdominal breathing, you got abdominal breathing, because it's embryonic breathing, like going back to how we used to breathe as an embryo. Because
they say you should breathe through your diaphragm in your stomach, not your chest.
Exactly, because you have used to have those umbilical cords, and that's how we used to breathe. It's like a pump, boom, boom, boom. And so we as we get older, we become shallow breathers. And I used to watch, it was funny, I used to watch my sister, once she had her kids, if you should study them, because they're funny. First of all, they're funny as fuck, and they're closer to creation than we are, because we've been brainwashed. We've been
just as you get older, the fear, the failures.
You become accustomed to the matrix, to the system, to society. But kids, they don't know the rules yet. So like their breathing. I just watch how they breathe. I just notice their stomach, my niece's stomach, just going up and down. And as we get older, we become shallow breathers from here to here, and then we start breathing through our mouths, and you actually take in more carbon dioxide, I think.
Yeah.
If you breathe through your mouth, and even though breathing through the nose is weird, that's why I tell people breathe through your nose. I'm not getting a lot of breath, but you're getting more oxygen.
Yeah.
And then you actually engaging the back of the lungs. That's because we all use our front of the lungs because we're like this, so the back is stretched out, so your back of your lungs are stretched out, so it's pressing all the air. So you're using more of the front of the lungs, the lung cell. So I try to. You got all that room in the back, so stretch out the chest, push all that. So it's just some qigong stuff. If you just want to, breathing is correlated to qi. So wherever you breathe, the more breath you get in, you get more qi. Because I don't want to go into the physics.
We might have to. This might turn into a qigong, because I like, because this is a different route than my usual interview, and that's what I like. I like to get into the new stuff because this all applies. So I'd like to back this up by saying he covers the spiritual side of it, and there's actually a science behind that too.
Yeah, he was trying to, Dr. Yang, understanding qigong, go look for it. He was trying to create a bridge because he was a qigong master, and then he moved out here, he got all his masters in physiology, anatomy, he became a doctor, and he was trying to show the correlation, and then he proved the science, he showed the science behind it, but you continue.
So there's going back to that short breaths, there's parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems. So sympathetic is when we're fight or flight. That's the easiest way to remember. It's when tiger's chasing us, heart rate, like you were saying, you're doing intervals, your heart rate's beating. When that's going on, certain things are happening to you physiologically. So what happens is all the blood rushes to your heart, everything, because it's thinking survival mode. So it shuts off digestion or it turns it down. It's giving you all the blood flow to where it needs to be so you can be optimal. You don't need digestion while you're running from something. Whereas parasympathetic is rest and digest. That's when the heart rate's slower, breathing's supposed to be fuller. And so the point of why I'm saying that is when you take the time to breathe through your nose, you can't be sympathetic when you're breathing through your nose because it forces you to take slower, deep breaths. And I like to look at what you were saying about breathing through the stomach and through the back. Think of it as think of it as the different walls. You want to feel not just your stomach stretching, but your low back stretching. You want to feel the diaphragm, which is below, stretching, and on top you want to feel all that expanding and contracting. And that's how you get that full breath.
It's funny, the Chinese, they believe, I studied that thing too much, the Qigong, that's all I watch. We consider the lower body from waist down, they consider it from diaphragm down. So everything above the diaphragm is upper body, and then so your core is part of your lower body. So the diaphragm is real big for them. And and when you're in fight or flight mode, it sends all the blood to your muscles, to your arms, to your legs, so you can't. And a lot of people are stressed out, and when you're stressed out, you go into that mode, you go into Super Saiyan mode, you call it Super Saiyan mode. And then they're wondering about all this. Wherever blood goes, it's correlated, it's related to chi. So wherever blood is, that's what Dr. Yang is saying the chi is. So you send all your chi out there, and you should have your chi here where all your major organs is. The chi is washing the organs, it's making sure everything functions correctly, and then if your blood is always in
that sympathetic mode, that's why a lot of people
failure, lung failure,
sickness,
all your major organs.
People severely underestimate immune function and why they're getting sick with stress. You hear that all the time. Oh, if you're stressed, you're gonna get sick. I think
this dude, I forgot his name. I've been watching his YouTube. doctor something, but he's like the biology of belief. Well, we think we're sick, so we're sick, and so we're stressed out, and so he was. I'll text you the thing with the thing later.
Yeah, 75% of your immune system is behind your gut. So between what you eat and how you're breathing, if you're, like you said, if we know 75% of our immune system is behind our gut, and like I just said before, when we're sympathetic and breathing short breaths, not only are you getting carbon dioxide, but the blood isn't going to the digestion. So that means
the immune system what's its function? To protect you?
Yeah.
It's basically simple as
it has a strong relationship with the brain.
So check this out. You said right here, right?
Yeah.
So in Qigong, they believe the lower dantian. I told you, 2 brains, right?
Yeah, 2 brains.
So your first brain is your lower dantian, and that's where your chi. That's like your battery. And so, like you're saying, I can see that's what he was saying. The immune system protects you, so you want to have a lot of stuff there to like keep the circulations going. I don't want to get into it right now. It's a lot of stuff.
I love that stuff. And I want to touch into that because I remember when you first brought that up to me, years ago, I used to think like, I don't know if I believe that. I don't know. But like since then, it has been something that's always low key been on the back of my mind. And because it's been on that, I've been looking for ways to learn more about it. And I've been hearing the science aspect of it more and more and more. So there's definitely something to that, which is why I wanted you to talk about that, because people always hear about the stress and all this and the breathing, and I want them to really take action on that because it's huge and it's so easy to fix.
He was explaining it simple enough for me to understand the science and the philosophy or the spiritual part of it, and it just made sense. I'm like, oh, of course. And then I was studying that while I was studying to get certified, and then all the information was just melting together. I'm like, this go with that go with this. And then when I got certified, I understood it even better. I'm like, oh shit. So I just applied breathing to training. The more air you take in, the more chi you have to exert to manifest. So that's why I'm a heavy breather now.
Yeah, I've been doing that more when I get anxious or like something's stressing me out. I take a couple like real deliberate deep breaths, and it definitely helps me a big time.
I had to do some deep breaths when I was microdosing on shrooms. Ooh, you get anxiety.
Yeah.
Because that's the ultimate test right there. I think because I get fucked up so much, that makes me. I have to focus on my breathing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. One thing I'm
joking. I'm sorry. I'm not serious. Don't take anything I say too seriously.
Except for the breathing.
The breathing.
The breathing is legit.
You don't want to be serious breather. Just be sincere in your breathing. Serious is like a tense. When you're serious, you're tense. Like, oh, I gotta do this. I gotta breathe. Oh, I'm not breathing. And then you're focusing on not breathing instead of breathing. Yeah. So just be relaxed and just breathe. Because you always breathing. Breathing is something we can do. We can control it, but it happens on its own. So that's something about it. That's go from the spiritual link. I don't know. Okay. That's why I always thought it was important.
Nice. One of the things I want to start getting into with this podcast, and we'll see if we can get into it with you, is because I'm half Italian, half Filipino, so like my cultural upbringing is very different from someone else's, someone from any other background. So one thing I want to start doing in here, and maybe we can start with you, is like seeing what your cultural background was growing up and how that influenced the way you were raised and the way you saw failure, success, how to pursue life, all that kind of stuff. Because I'm a big fan of like your history kind of makes you who you are, and like you're shaped off of your experiences. So culture plays a huge role in that. So what is your background? Are your parents from America? Are they from somewhere else?
Well, I'm half black, I'm all black. I found out I was 1/4 Irish.
Oh, damn.
My grandfather is half Irish, which is why he looks different. That makes sense.
That makes sense now.
So that's why I was rooting for Connor. Go Connor.
There you go. It's basically like your cousin now.
Yes. So I like Irish because I used to watch gangs in New York, and they're like savages, and then Irish and black. Oh, that's a good combination.
Yeah. Where are your parents from?
They're from Chicago. I'm from Chicago. They were born and raised in Chicago. I was born and raised in Chicago, Southside, of course. It was.
What was the mentality growing up between?
That's what
type of kids you grew up with, how your parents raised you.
I don't know, because it was just like I knew it was like weird. I'm like, what? Why y'all acting like that? It's too much effort. Like, I didn't get it. So even though I was a part of it, I knew I had to get the rules. You know, it was a typical. I grew up in Inglewood. If people know Chicago, it's like one of the worst places you can grow up. But luckily, my great-grandparents, they lived in that neighborhood for a long period of time, so they was everybody's grandparents.
Okay.
So all the major gangs, all the major drug dealers, they were, there's a little cousin Darien. So I was the main person. I was the main man. And so I didn't have to go through all of this stuff like, I gotta watch out. But they were all like family. So.
But even that's a big point you make there, because you had that one little difference. You had this mindset of more family versus like these are all my enemies.
And I always, So you can say that. So that helped me out a lot. I don't know how I would survive. I probably had to, because I didn't get into a lot of fights. I did get into some fights, but not a lot. But I've seen a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah.
The mentality.
So how does that affect you, like, to this day? Like, how do you carry that?
It makes me appreciate this. It makes it. I knew as a kid, like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
I don't want. It helps you. People don't want to be there. They leave. Like I go to high school. It was good. Like you just get on the sports team. I was on the football team, and you basically was plugged. But I didn't like the mentality. It was they promoted the negative aspect. They promoting the drug selling. They promoted. That's why I didn't smoke weed till I was older, like 24, because I associated weed with like drug dealers, with gangbangers, and like people. Like you got beat up for going to class, being a better person, and then
that's crazy.
And then the ones who didn't go to class, it was weird. It was like it was back. I'm like, this is. But I was just my environment, so I had to adapt. And so if I'm different, they go fuck me up.
How does one? Because it's easy, so you can fall on either side of that. You can either see the drugs and the violence and say, I'm going to be a part of this, or you can do what you did and back out. So how does one, especially at a young age, decide that route?
I figured out early that everybody loves women. And so like I was around a lot of girls, and then, he's cool. And then I didn't have an ego. I just I respected everybody. Because usually what happens is, people try to like be the bigger person. Oh, you gonna fuck with me, bro? And then they get into argument. I'm not gonna fight with you, bro. I'm just like, hey, you right, bro. My bad. Be the bigger person. I'm saving me an ass whooping.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't fight. I knew how to fight, but you couldn't fight people at that school because they knew other people. And then like if you fought somebody who was like had high rank in the gang, if his cousin had high rank, it ended bad for you. Because they don't fight.
What was your parents, when they were raising you, what was how did they like make sure you didn't get caught in trouble? How did they? They
were awesome parents. Because my dad met my mom when she had my older sister, so she has a different father. But my dad took her in, and my mom got married. Her and my dad got married, and then they had me. I was the honeymoon baby, so that's what I'm like. I brag about like they wanted me, you guys. They didn't want you. They wanted me. I was planned. Nice. And so like right after I was born, 11 months later, my younger sister was born. So my dad had 3 kids. So he had like 4 jobs. He was going. I didn't know when this dude slept. It was crazy. And so he provided, and my mom she was always at home just taking care of us. And I grew up, it's a lot of women in my family, so like it was, I got like 3, like both, I don't know, I got a lot more aunties than uncles. And so I was raised by women mostly. I had 2 sisters, one older, one younger slightly. My mom was always there. I couldn't watch a lot of Power Rangers. I had to watch a lot of Beauty and the Beast. It was horrible. But my mom, we had to go to church every like 3 days a week. It was crazy. Okay. That was horrible. But
keeps you in line though.
It keeps me in line. It kept me out of other places. So I understand it now, but it was torture. Because as a kid, you're in school all fucking day.
You don't be in church 3 times a week.
And then they expect you to do homework, so we got to do school outside of school. I'm trying to go outside and play. because I just got new rollerblades, and I was trying to rollerblade. We used to race. It was cool. We lived on the block. It was a good environment, even though it was in a bad macro. It was a good micro. Yeah. But we go to church. So I gotta go to school, I gotta go to church 3 days a week. So my only day to play was really Saturday, because we didn't go to church Saturday. And so that's why I just acted a fool in school, because they wouldn't let me act a fool outside of school.
Yeah.
But church, I actually listened. That was like my first philosophy class. And then he was making some sense, and then most of they just try to scare you a little bit. And so I was like, all right, I have to do this because my parents tell me to do this. And then as I got older, I started understanding other stuff, and then I evolved, I like to say, that's still my roots, but I evolved, and it helps, like you said, it helped keep me in place. So you can thank 2-parent household, a large family environment, and church. There you go.
Nice.
And my sisters came out good, my little brother, and we all came out pretty good.
What was the biggest lesson you learned growing up in a room or a household with more women than men versus if it was all alpha male?
Women are crazy. Especially black women. Black women are crazy, man.
But I feel like
women, I won't hit a woman, because that's like, oh, you don't do that. That's real, because like in my mind, that's like the biggest taboo you can do. That's like, and so.
I feel like women are better with empathy too than guys.
Yeah, so I'm a better dancer than most people because of women, because I was the oldest boy, so I was. Get up here and dance with your grandma. Get up here and dance with your auntie. Every family get together. They teach you, put some estrogen in your life, man. There you go. People, men are afraid of estrogen. I gotta eat a lot of broccoli. I have estrogen.
I want estrogen.
But women are the foundation. That's why I learned to appreciate women. Women are the foundation because they fucking give birth. So like they're considered the yin part, and then men, we manifest. We're strong. We make things happen. We're the yang. So, but the yin is the source of the power, and then we just use it. So I understood. Like today, I played that in my comedy. I took the women crowd. Like, yeah, you guys taking over the world right now. You got Wonder Woman. You got UFC fighters. Fucking women UFC
actresses,
fighters.
They're all killing it right now.
It used to be a period in time where women were in control. It was the matriarch period. And men, since we were physically gifted, that's the only thing we got over women, pretty much. This is what I said, and that's how I got the crowd. It's like a women crowd. You gotta know your crowd, man. It's a lot of lesbians here. It's a lot of women. Lesbians are taking over the world, man. I swear to God. We used to just work all day, do all the labor, and then we go home and just have sex. And that's where I want to live right now. This sounds like a deal to me. I don't want to think. I don't want to make decisions. I'll make stuff happen.
Yeah.
So growing up with a lot of women, it was cool. They taught me a lot.
Okay.
My dad just taught me how to fight. That's basically it. You better. One time we were playing Bruce Lee. That's what we call it. We were playing karate, and they decided to just jump me, man. I was 2-on-1. Like, that's not fair. And so they didn't really jump me. It was play fighting, and I was mad. Dad, they jumped me, and then he just beat my ass.
Oh,
like, you either fight them or fight me. I'm like, Dad, you too big, man. You shouldn't be fighting kids right now. I should call the police on you, but I'm not.
Was there ever a point as you got older where you realized, I'm stronger than my dad now?
Oh, hell, I'm still not stronger. Have you seen my dad? His fist looks like 2 of my fists. Man. If things have to go to that point, I'll go for the knees, of course. I have game plan how to take out my dad. I think everybody has.
Sure.
I got speed, but if he hits me, if he grabs me, because he likes to brag. His nickname was Cowboy. He was like one of those. Back then they fight, so he used to be like the big dude on the block.
Yeah.
And so he got 2 brothers, so he knows how to fight. And I never I'm not gonna fight my dad.
Is there anyone who's influenced your life that doesn't know it?
I got 3 people who have influenced a real person, or somebody still alive, or
friends or family, or anyone within your circle.
My oldest sister, when we were kids, we used to live on a block, and it was 100th Street. We remember it was the 100th Street, and same families live on the block, so we used to have block parties. We knew everybody on the block. But we used to have races, see who was the fastest. I was fast. I was the fastest, and my sister, I got chubby. I started liking food. But my sister, she was like an all-American track star, like fucking straight A's. She got to meet Obama when he was a senator. And like she was like, go to any college, pay for. She got pregnant, but like she don't know, like she read one of my essays, like she really influenced me, like 'cause she's the only person that can get me like really, really upset. I don't know how she does it, but she used to like I used to just get into it with people, and like I got into one fight, I hit dude and I just sat down for some reason, thought he wasn't gonna hit me back. I don't know why, but he just started just smash me, boom, 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 and then my sister just beat him up easy. I'm like, fuck. Like, don't touch him. His sister go, but like she's really influenced my life. She's like real strong. She just got married, 4 kids,
Nice.
and still master's degree. They're just smarter than me, I think. But yeah, she's influenced me. I don't think influence. She's just
been a big part of your life.
I looked up to her.
Yeah.
Like she was like a track star, cause she was faster than me. That's why I'm like, oh, how the fuck you get faster than me? If you faster than me, I'm like, all right, you're pretty good. And she was an all-star track team, all-star fucking student. She was a student athlete, and she's probably one person that influenced me. My dad, he works hard. I got my leadership, like my managing skills from him. I just learned a lot. I just learned lessons from people. I just see, okay, I'll probably do that differently, but I just learn lessons from everybody.
Sure.
But I like to say who my main role models.
If you want me to repeat something you said, say Simon says and then immediately say what you want me to repeat.
Can you repeat that, please? Simon says, can you repeat that, please?
That's the Alexa going off.
But yeah, Bruce Lee. If you can, like these three.
It is a horror novel by American author Stephen King. It released in September 1986.
Bruce Lee? So 3 people. We can just edit that out. 3 people. So if these 3 dudes had a baby, if they impregnated, I don't know what women yet. I haven't found out that women figure. But Bruce Lee, I love how his way of fitness was different. I just love Bruce Lee. Every black person loves Bruce Lee. He saw ultimate fitness. What is fitness? What is true martial arts? Fitness is just a martial art. Bruce Lee, I learned that's why I became a trainer. Physical, that's the physical aspect of it. Bruce Lee, Bob Marley, of course. I love the way he loved music and his love for marijuana. I think I share that. I smoked his favorite strain, lamb's bread. I can see why he was the way he was. Because if you smoke the same weed as people, you understand them. That's what I feel. It's weird. I'm sorry.
No, it's interesting. I've never heard that before.
So Bob Marley and Alan Watts. Have you heard of Alan?
Yeah.
Alan Watts is a big dude. Oh, I go to sleep to his lectures because I figured I couldn't sleep. So I was like, I need to figure out a way to go to sleep. And so I remember, like, I used to go to sleep a lot in college when I hear people talk. So I just play his lectures. And then this is, if you want to learn something, because we learn in our theta state.
Sure, yeah.
And
so there's different brain states that your brain goes in. There's alpha states, theta states.
So they say we have our subconscious, we're more in tune with our subconscious, and that's a higher way of learning. I gotta text you this dude's name, I forgot it. But so we're in theta states 2 times a day, right when we wake up, and then right before we go to sleep, because you're in that sleepy, that smoggy state. And so I listened to Alan Watts lectures. He's like a Buddhist, just talking about just awakening, nirvana and stuff. He started out as a Christian theologian, and then he was influenced with Buddhism, which is he's more Chinese Zen. So Zen, which is like a Chinese version of Buddhism, which came from. He also talks about the Taoism and Confucianism and like all the Hinduism. Buddhism is Hinduism stripped from export. That's what he said. So But I listen to a lot of him. That's my philosophical side. That's what helps me question everything.
What's the biggest lesson you can give to people that you've learned from Alan Watts listening to him?
Is life serious? You need to answer that question. Is life serious? If it is serious, then you hold on to it because it's so serious. But life is like breath. So like when you breathe in, we're going back to fucking breathing. Everything goes to fucking breathing.
Okay.
So when you breathe in, that's you're holding, that's life. Air is life. So you don't want to hold on to that life because if you're going to suffocate, you got to let go, which is nirvana means breathe out. So oh my God, I need to hold on to this life. It's so serious. I got to keep life. But if you just let it go, trust it to come back, then you're good. He also taught me this is probably the biggest thing, like we came from this earth. Like we're not just some fluke. We're a part of this, whatever's going on. Like the clouds up there, we're just like the clouds. We're just one energy, but we just manifest differently. So this is your home. Where else did you come from? People feel alienated from, so that's why wherever I go, I feel like I belong here because this is Earth, and like this is my habitat. So he helped me just be comfortable, just know who I am. He just told you who you were. You're everything that is the same. And he also made me aware of empty space. Something about empty space.
What about?
Everything is in space. Even though like something comes from nothing. No, something comes from nothing. So everything comes from nothing. Because like just be aware of the background instead of the foreground. This is what connects everything. Empty space.
Yeah, it's having that perception and appreciation for everything around you.
Yeah, it's weird. Now I'm just got weird. Oh man.
No, actually, you know what? I'm
just looking at empty space, but you can't see it.
What I picked up from that was, especially in today, this goes back to the stress and everything else. We get so focused on these little unimportant things that we think are important that we forget the bigger picture of who we are and what our purpose is here and everything around us, that we don't take time to stop and just appreciate the bigger picture.
Yeah, exactly what you said. People they take things too seriously. Oh man, I like to consider myself the Joker. Because this is all like, we were your parents from the day you were born. They told you who you were, so you're Joe. Okay, don't be Billy, Joe. Don't be Billy. You're Joe. And so we're just programmed. All right, I'm Darien. And so who is Darien? I don't know who Darien is. So we only know who we are from what other people tell us, and that's not who you are. That's just that's the name you were given. You're the same as fucking the clouds in the sky, the wind blowing, all this.
How do you break free from that?
You don't need to break free from it. It is what it is. Like even if you don't believe it, that's what it is. You're just. So that's another thing. Like I can't. It's like I can't like change. I can't make myself better, because the person who's trying to make yourself make like improve needs the improvement. So everything you try to do, like it just happens. No matter what you try, you might try to think a lot. Oh, I gotta figure out how to get this lady out this apartment so I can go to fucking Hawaii. But like it's gonna come, and then it's just whatever happens, it's gonna happen. So you just stop trying to figure that out. It's just gonna happen. So that's what it helped me. Just trust the air to come back. Just whatever happens. I don't know. That's the only way I can explain it.
What do you think is a habit that really holds people back?
They think too much. People think too much. We're overthinkers. So, and when you think, you're talking to yourself in your head, and you're just using words, and it's just the illusion. But just focus on your.
Goes back to breath.
Just if you just think of that, and then you don't think. Well, you're still thinking in the head, but you're just a spectator now. You're just okay. You don't give it any. You're not like attached to the thought. It's just like music playing in the background. It's just and then eventually it goes away, and then you're just left with a clear mind, and then like you were saying, like if you read, like if you're trying to think of something, you can't think of it, and then you just take a break from it, take your mind off. If you just stop thinking for a while, give your mind a chance to recover, and then your subconscious, your super conscious, I want to say, just because everything is connected. Like you said, everything is connected. That's your subconscious is just the same conscious that the animals have. Your third eye. It's just a lot of bullshit. I don't want to go into it. It's a lot of bullshit. I'm high. I'm sorry.
No, it's all
Don't
good.
take
It's all
anything.
good.
Don't take anything too seriously.
What is the biggest goal you have not achieved yet that you're going for right now?
I don't think I have any goals right now. Well, I'm going to achieve them. Whatever happens, happens. But I want to have kids. Cause I'm a trainer. I'm going to train the shit out of my kids. I'm trying to create a Steph Curry. So, like, I need a tall girl. So because I want to be over 6 feet and probably light skin. No, shouldn't have said that. But kids, like goals related to what, like personal goals. Like I don't know. I think I'm too in the moment. I need to think more in the future. But down the line, I do want to put my little sister through medical school because she's helped me a lot out here. And make sure my family's support them, I guess. The comedy thing, I'm just getting into that. We'll see what happens. The goals, I just try to. I don't have a lot of goals right now.
Okay.
I need to work on that.
Yeah. What do you
My
think?
goal is to have a goal.
There you go. Goal to have a goal. What do you think, or how do you know when someone should, or what's your advice for when someone should quit versus when they should keep going on their goals?
Yeah, don't be too attached. Just like I like to have a mind of a mirror. I don't hold any. I don't grab anything. I don't hold on to anything, but I don't refuse. I don't like neglect anything. I don't like, oh, that's not. So just align yourself. Just go with it. Adapt. You want to adapt on the fly. Just don't be too attached, but stay firm a little bit. Like if you're trying to be in the NBA and you're like my height, you need to change your goal. My whole thing is I figure out what I'm good at and I try to get paid for that. So like podcasting, I love podcasting. This is awesome. I love talking a lot. And sensible people get paid doing things they enjoy doing. And so that explains me. So I just try to get paid to do like smoke weed, talk to people, train, make people laugh. And your goals should be what you enjoy. So you shouldn't try to like a certain amount of money. I'm not a big fan of money, of symbols and stuff like that. So it depends on what your goals are. But yeah, there's no wrong or right answer.
Yeah.
That's what another thing I learned is, it is what it is. There's no wrong or right answer. Enjoy the experience, enjoy the journey, and then because people get fixed on their goals and future things down the line, and then they forget like what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And so don't be too. It's like be in the middle. You don't want to be too in the future, but you don't want to be too in the moment because you end up like me and it's like stuck. I don't know where it's going. I'm like a cloud. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I don't have goals. That's horrible.
I know one of the big things for people is when they're trying to go for their goals is the reason we don't follow through is we get caught up in not feeling good enough. Why is it that we get so caught up in not being good enough?
Because we're comparing ourselves to other people. We're looking at their highlights and we don't realize that everybody's going through the same thing, trying to just trying to fit in. And so that's what it's about, just trying to fit in into the environment, adapt to the environment. Don't compare yourself to others. That's the biggest thing. That's what I tell my clients. Don't look at her, but do you know what? Because you be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. Do you know what she goes through to get that? Are you sure you want to? Like people just see the positive, they don't see the negative. They don't know the negative attached to whatever their goal is. So my big thing is to understand not just the positive, the benefits, but understand what's going to come along with that. Because there's going to be some negatives. Oh, I want to make $1 million. Okay, you get $1 million. Now, people in your family is going to be asking for money, and you're going to tell them no, then there's going to be some hate. So more money, more problems. You know, Biggie. Shout out.
Shout out to Biggie.
Plug.
No, I love that though. That's actually
yeah.
I've never heard anyone say that before, and I think that's so spot on. Is you don't know the negative. There's always positives and negatives in everything.
Yeah. People look at he trains these girls and they're squatting in front of him. They don't know what the fuck I go through. I'm always in pain. I'm playing ball all the time. Sure. They don't know what it is to be in shape. That's why I tell people, you sure you want to be in shape? You sure you want to be fit? Do you want to eat out of Tupperware? Do you want to always be in pain and sore? But they don't know what goes along with it. So just be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it. Nice. So I'm going to leave it at that before I keep talking.
Nice. Final question I like to end on is the mind-action gap. So it's idea to actually following through on it. So like someone could say, I want to start a podcast, and then there's never any action. They just talk about it all the time. What is one piece of advice for anyone listening for whatever their goal is, whether it's to reduce stress, become a comedian, from idea to what's the one thing they can do to get started to turning it into an action?
You see, you're asking the wrong person. I'm complacent. I am very procrastinate, but I have a team in place that helps me because I know my shortcomings. I know that I'm going to procrastinate. I know I was in science project. We wait till the day before to do the science project until I absolutely have to do it. So I have to have a gun to my head. Like my sisters are more savvy with it. They approach it. They get things done. So have a team in place. Know your strengths and weaknesses. So like Chris, like one of my boys, Chris, he's more aggressive. He's, damn, we gotta get this done. Because I'm more laid back. I'm more, oh man, we get it. Don't worry, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, man. Everything's happens all the time, so it happens. So know your strengths. So like, make a list. That's one thing I started doing. Make a list and just try to stay focused. I'm horrible. I'm sorry.
No, that was good. I like that. That was perfect.
Yeah, I have a team. Like I know my weaknesses. I know that I can get stuff done though. When the time comes, like he put me to the fire. Like, all right, we're gonna do this. I'm like, all right. So I had to do the comedy thing, in which just put yourself in position to succeed. You know,
get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Align yourself exactly. Though when you seek the uncomfortable, everything becomes comfortable. That's the stoic mindset. That's why Connor is so fucking good. He's Stoicism, have you heard of that?
Yeah, I was gonna reference it before when you were talking about when things happen, just let them happen. And it's not about trying to change things, because you can't change things you don't have control over. You can only change your perception of your interpretation of those things.
I also appreciate what you have now. They didn't say it like that. You should be bragging about, like, you got this awesome ass apartment. You should be bragging about this shit. Just brag about the stuff you do have, and it makes you a little cocky, but it gives you confidence. With cocky comes confidence. And just appreciate your stuff that you have, because you're always wishing for stuff you don't have. And you don't realize what like, I'm living in California, I live by the beach. I get to smoke before, I smoke marijuana all the time. I'm a marijuana activist. It's for, I got pain, that's why I take it. That's why I tell people. But appreciate what you have, and then you won't compare yourself to others. Because they probably thinking, I wish I had that, something you got. And so figure that out and just appreciate what you have. And then stoicism, yeah, man. You just got to realize that this is where you belong. That's basically it, man. Just feel comfortable. Like most people feel alienated from Earth. And like, where, like, you just, like the Chinese, like we say, Mommy, how was I made? Like we're a car or something. So Asian people say, how did we grow? Because they think of themselves like a plant. We're just like a plant. We're just growing. This is our habitat. This is where we belong. We don't belong anywhere else. People worried about going to heaven. This is heaven on earth. It's just weird. I'm sorry.
That's all
I like to say I'm sorry a lot.
It's all awesome. Well, Darien.
Oh man, this was cool.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, man. Had a great talk.
I don't remember
How
what I
was the
said.
sprig?
The sprig plug. I'm feeling it now.
It's kicking in.
It tastes so good. THC 45 milligrams, 0 sugar, not 4 grams of carbs. I try to stay. Don't eat carbs. Well, you can eat carbs, but don't eat them at night.
There
You
go.
don't need them. Carbs, I don't want to get into that. This is pretty good, man. Sprig.
There you go, guys. Check it out. Try it out. Sprig
Try to
Soda.
sponsor WeedFit.
At Sprig
Oh,
Soda.
we didn't talk about WeedFit.
Real
See?
quick, give a little talk about WeedFit. What is
WeedFit, man. I told you before, I've conditioned my body into whenever I'm high, mostly it's sativa, but now I'm training on indicas, which is crazy. I just get a rush of energy. I feel like I'm more in tune with the workout. I feel the mind-muscle connection better. You know, if you feel it, feel the right muscles working. And it slows, like I said, it slows everything down, more focused to detail. And I've noticed like a lot of other people in the gym as well, it's about that life. Yoga people, MMA fighters, WeedFit. I'm trying to create my own religion. That's what it is. I'm trying to be a cult leader, trying to be the new Jesus. But I know what comes along with being Jesus. You get crucified. I know I'm gonna die. I know I'm probably gonna get assassinated, but it is what it is, man. You gotta. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry.
Maybe, I don't know.
So yeah, WeedFit.
WeedFit, check out the Instagram, more stuff. We also got this thing, you know, I'm a boxing MMA enthusiast. Are you familiar with hot boxing?
I mean, the smoking.
The smoking part.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a double entendre. So, so hot boxing, when you smoke and then you just train as you high, but I also like to hit a joint and then
Oh damn.
holding the air in, hot box on them. So hot boxing YouTube series coming soon.
There you go.
It's good. You get my boy Rafi is like a real good in boxing, so you're gonna learn some stuff. You're just gonna be high. You're gonna promote marijuana. That's too is with it, just for entertainment.
Yeah.
There's no knowledge here, just for
Nice.
fun.
Nice.
I'm a comedian, man. I get to do what
There
I
you go.
want.
Have fun with it. You're enjoying the
I'm
process.
enjoying the journey.
There you go.
I'm gonna don't look at the camera. Don't look at the camera.
Well, Darren, thank you for coming in, man. What is your Instagram handles? We got at WeedFit, right?
Yeah, that's the business one. Confucius D. Hashtag. No, Confucius_D.
Okay.
Rex gave me that name. I like it.
There you
Stuck
go.
with it. Confucius. I don't want to go into that.
It's all good.
The 12 human heartedness. I don't want to go into that. We'll talk about
So at WeedFit.
At
and
WeedFit, at Confucius
_D.
exactly.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully, do this.
Maybe we'll do a follow up and see how WeedFit's doing and how that hot boxing is doing.
Yeah, we're gonna have one. We're gonna shoot tomorrow.
Awesome. Cool.
We got the little GoPro. I got a little wireless mic, bro. That's what I want to tell you about. We'll talk about it.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Darren.